What up, everybody? Welcome to the weekend. We're going to start a new series tonight. We're going to get rowdy on Friday nights. Okay, not too rowdy. I mean, we're going to get rowdy in sort of a morally acceptable and legal way. I'm going to start a new series. Try to do these every Friday, at least every other Friday. We're going to call this series Friday Night Cold Beer Knife Fight. Friday Night Cold Beer Knife Fight. And, what we're going to do, we're going to drink a few cold beers, or at least I'm going to drink a few cold beers. You guys and gals, very much welcome to drink some cold beers along with me. And we're going to do a knife fight. We're going to pit two knives against each other. I don't know how straight up this is going to be or how silly I'm going to make it, but we'll do some serious comparisons of like-minded stuff, and we'll do some disparate sort of comparisons, and hell, I might even break out some knives that we've all seen in popular movies and pit them against each other just for shits and giggles. So this very first episode of Friday Night Cold Beer Knife Fight is I'm going to shake that up a little bit more, and I'm going to touch base on something that pisses me off so much. And I know I'm making a mistake by doing this, but I'm gonna do it. This pisses me off so much. There is a segment of the YouTube knife reviewer niche. And there's a whole bunch of people out there, some really, really established people on down to people like me that are brand new, don't really have any followers, and are just trying to get something going. But there is this niche that I don't know what it's called, but it is basically brutal, hardcore knife testing. Supposedly to establish limitations of popular knives. Because let's face it, as far as the manufacturers tell us, every damn one of them is never going to break. We should never ever have to buy another knife in our life. Every brand is like that. But I don't like failure tests on knife for one reason. I think that in the dumbed down society that we live in, it encourages misuse of knives rather than encouraging understanding the limitations and respecting your knife. Because I think that's too subtle of a point for a lot of viewers to get. And I'm going to tell you why I think that. Some of you may know, years ago, I worked at a place called Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and it's in East Tennessee in Sevierville. And it's billed as the world's largest knife store, and it probably is. This is a huge, huge place that carries every brand that you could think of and a lot that you don't even know about. They have an insane amount of floor space. Okay, this is a huge multiple part building establishment. But I used to work in this place, and it's sort of a tourist attraction actually. So you get a shit ton of people that come through there. Many days, this store that you would think is a Walmart almost is so packed that people are having to shuffle by each other. That's how many, just hundreds of thousands of people coming through this place. So I got to meet, I couldn't even tell you how many quote unquote knife lovers of every type that I met. I worked there for about 2 years, and I was a salesperson. I was the lead salesperson on the Gerber counter, actually, where Gerber products were sold. So I talked to just hundreds of people every day, day in and day out, week in and week out, just hundreds and thousands of people. And I talked to them about how they use their knives. And you learn a lot about people. And I'm going to tell you right now, they're not as smart as we think they are. And these knife abuse videos, I think they're missing their point. I think within the knife community, they're understood and respected, and they prove their point. I think outside of the immediate, knowledgeable knife community, I think the point is totally missed, and they encourage misuse of a knife. And I'm going to say up front, the number one thing I hate about these videos is when they pull one of these out and go to test it. Yeah, that's a folding knife. Now that happens to be a Spyderco paramilitary too. That's one of the Blurple models in S110V. Pretty sweet knife. It's very smooth. You know, it's a nice knife. It's a folding knife. It's made out of multiple parts. Okay, these multiple parts are held together by itty bitty screws. The biggest piece of hardware in this knife, as far as that goes, is the pivot. That's small. That's what holds this handle and this blade together. That's it. See how small that is compared to the rest of that knife? That's it. That's what holds that together. Why would you do brutal failure tests on a folding knife? I don't care what kind of lock it has on it. I don't care. I don't care if it's a compression lock. I don't care if it's a frame lock, a liner lock, an axis lock, whatever. Even the cold steel triad lock, okay? Even that. It does not matter how strong the lock is. That's two pieces held together by that little ass piece of hardware. All right, I see these tests, and this guy grabs this $200, $300 folding knife that's a beautiful piece of engineering. It's fantastically built. The fit and finish is precise. The finishing on it is beautiful. The action is like butter. And then they start prying on an old pallet with it. Okay, well, I guess there's some sort of emergency situation where you need to pry on old pallets with an everyday carry folder. That's ridiculous. Why even make videos like that? Why? You are not telling anybody anything they need to know. What you should be saying is, hey, here is a paramilitary too. Don't misuse it. Misuse is prying with it and trying to chop down trees. Okay? Don't do this. I'm not going to do it. Don't do it. But instead, we show people what the limitations are, and they go out and they think they can do those things with their knives because somebody on YouTube showed them they could. And people do dumb shit, and people get hurt. You would not believe some of the things I have heard people say when purchasing knives. You would not believe it. And there you are in a video showing people how to misuse a knife and showing them that it's a good thing to push a knife to its limit. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. And 99.999% infinitely repeating of people are never ever going to be in that situation that you are trying to prepare them for. That extreme survival usage of whatever knife you've got on you. Holy shit! Plane just crashed. I'm the only survivor. The only knife I've got is my paramilitary too. Thank God. Let's go over here and baton it through a tree. You're not going to do that. I don't give a shit if you're in a survival situation or not. Okay? That is, hey, I'm in a survival situation. Let's break my tool at the get-go and have nothing to use from now on. That's what that is. And to me, it's a waste. I think our purpose in doing these knife reviews, no matter how many followers you've got, is to educate people on the best knife that they can get for their hard-earned dollar, and to educate people on the proper care and the proper use and the properly safe way of using a knife. I have no interest in destroying my knives, and I have no interest in showing anybody else how to destroy their knives. And that's just all there is to that. So there you go.